Welcome back to the belted Galloway Homestead. I wanted to share another attachment I use here on the homestead. I apologize for the cattle. The belties are a little vocal this morning, wanting attention. But the attachment here is a brushshark. I bought this a few years back. It's made in Texas, but I was able to find a distributor that had one here in Minnesota. And it's worked out pretty good, allowing me to clean the fence rows and also clear out some brushy areas that need to be cleared. What's nice about it is, as you lift the boom up and you can tilt, you can reach on the other side of the fence and clear out a fence row. It also allows you to reach underneath a fence row, especially my electric fence, a good distance here, and clean and get things cleaned up. And this is the automatic. They sell a manual version and an automatic, where the manual version you would need to cycle your hydraulics back and forth to get the sickle action, where if you get the automatic option on it, you just put the flow to the attachment, and it about every second it shuttles back and forth. It's worked really well. According to their webpage, it's made out of AR200 material. The cutting edges are, that's abrasive resistant 200. You can find products that are made out of 400 and 500, like shooting targets. So it's quite popular in high wear areas, the abrasive resistant steel. I added this hose here for some protection on there, so it didn't come with that. Just came with the two hoses, but I was concerned with this edge right here that I could get some hose wear, so I had some of that laying around, so I just threw it on there. But been very happy with it. I'm going to take this cover off and look inside to show you what the hydraulics looks inside. Let me get that cover off for you. So here we are with the cover removed, and they even put a decal there. How cool is that? I do have to say I'm impressed with the construction and the rigidity of this. A lot of flat pieces, don't see too much forming, and all welded together, and again, been very happy with it. So it looks like we got 2 cylinders for each direction. This is the shuttle valve. So basically what they're doing is they're using the pressure when the cylinder stops. It'll build up pressure, and then that pressure switches your shuttle valve to flow the other way. And then it sits there and it just 1 second cycles on doing that. And pretty simple. As long as that shuttle valve is working, and it's pretty simple, and it's worked really good. So I thought I'd give you a look at the inside of this. So that plate looks to be 3/16 thick. Not the lightest. This back plate here is 1/2 inch. So it's made out of pretty good heavy duty steel. And you can see how thick the sickle cutters are. Look like a 1/2 inch material also. They give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grease zerks to keep that surface greased. This unit is the 72-inch wide unit. Yep. They make a smaller one, but I wanted the 72-inch because this Bobcat could run it. I think they want you to have at least 30 gallons per minute on flow rate. And then what's interesting about this is in between here, you got 3-inch. Of course, you can put a sapling in there. But what you can do is right here, point to point, you got 6 inches. So you can pull up to a 6-inch tree with your skid steer, and you can start cutting away and slicing away at that. And you can cut down a 6-inch tree, 6-inch sapling with this. You might have to give it a few cycles, as opposed to, 1, 2, 3-inch that'll fit right in here. But been really good. AR200 material. They've got it at an angle here, so it shears it off. I haven't had to touch that up yet. I don't know if that's possible. Looks like this has been plasma cut at an angle. So I guess that's probably it. I don't see any grind marks where they've ground it like a knife edge. But wanted to show you a little more details with this. And let's give it a try. Let's put it to work and see what it can do. So here I'm demonstrating how the brush shark can cut small stuff and big stuff as you're going along through the woods, cutting brush. We're going along on the outside of the fence. Bars, snags. Now here we just keep going, but I'm taking and dumping off the cuttings off the front of the brush shark, so you can see the action. But here you would just keep going, pushing, and the debris would continue to gather up or fall off one side or the other. So I back up here to show the clean path that it created, and also showing how you can get the one corner underneath the fence and run along and clean underneath your fence rows while moving along with the fence row. See the debris there, it cuts real nice. Still it cuts grass and that. So another clean here. If you do go pretty fast, you can pass up some stuff, push it over before the sickle can do its cycle. Here I stop right before a pretty good sized snag to try to clear the cuttings so you can see the cutting of this sapling here. See, it's fairly large there. Slide to the left. And it just slices it right off and keeps on going. So pretty impressive, pretty powerful. You can see how clean that path is when I back up. I've got some walnut trees in this area. That actually might be small walnuts that I'm cutting right there. But I've got some walnuts. I've left them to grow, provide shade for the Belties. We do have that oak wilt around here, and so I don't want to cut any walnut trees down. Here you can see I'm getting close to that tree. That's the one thing that's nice about this brush shark. You can get that sickle next to a tree to get some saplings off, or even next to a fence and that. where with a bush hog or some other item, you know, something might be in the way, blade might be not out there at the edge, some wheels with those pull behind, got a pull behind brush hog, and it works, but it just, you know, it has its limitations. You just change the direction with this and just keep right on going. Bush there that it just eliminated. And I am still just amazed that it can cut briars and cut weeds. And here's some pretty big saplings here coming in. Just cut one to the right. Going to hit one here on the left, going to hit another one. This is that auto function kicking in. So you got that sapling that's in the sickle, it's hitting its pressure limit, it's switching directions, but I backed up and went at it and it sliced it right off. And here's where I talked about previously in the video. You can see the reach that I've got, especially underneath the bottom wire of an electric fence. Come up here, you can go in quite a bit. If your electric fence has even got some give to it, you can even go further in. You can see there, it's better than a foot being able to cut underneath the fence. See, I got some brush hanging over. Two ways of going at it. Come in like this and go straight down. Now the functions can get a little jerky. You can see the unit jumping here. The brush shark is cycling and the boom is coming down. And it operates, but it can be a little jerky. So you don't want to do any precise work right here, get too close. You can see I cut that brush on the other side of the fence, reached right over. Really nice. You're using this as kind of like a rake to pull it back. .72-inch path. You can't quite see it here yet, but it's creating a good gap on the other side of that fence. And again, this was coming straight down, and then there's another technique of pushing the brush and then cycling the brush shark. And you can come down and sweep up and sweep down, and it really does a great job of trimming all that brush on the other side of the fence. When you go underneath that with the brush shark underneath the fence and cut that brush is going to die. And when it's dead, it conducts less electricity. Of course, when it's green and of course raining or snow, it's going to pull off some of the juice on there. One thing to keep in mind with an electric fence, though, is you want to keep it on even though if you don't have animals in the pasture. Here's a trim there with reaching up and trimming a pine frond off. Reach up higher than you can with pruners, however high the skid steer can reach. And then here, using the raking function, you can pull the debris back into piles, and then you can come in there with your grapple and pick those piles up. And not a lot of handling by hand. It's really nice. I had first year or two on the homestead, I had cleaned these fence rows out by hand. And wow, you know you did a day's work when you cleaned a fence row out by hand, pruning and yanking and throwing and piling and carrying the brush to a brush pile. It was laborious. But you can see here, coming in, pushing back, sweeping, and cutting that brush off. As I mentioned earlier with keeping the fence on, if you keep the fence on, it'll as it touches the leaves, it'll help retard the growth of the leaves on there, so your fence will keep operating. And I've even seen where weeds will die, vines will come across the electric fence, and you have it on, and they will have stunted growth, have retarded growth, and even not growing or dead. So keep your electric fences on, and that'll help keep your growth back away from the fence also. Here's that coming in and sweeping. Hopefully your fence is kind of forgiving. You can touch it, snag it, the brush can hit it. Mine's pretty flexible. I put the brush shark in the dirt. I try to keep it out of the dirt, but sometimes you just can't help. And then trying to get that stuff cut off at the ground. I mean, it's made. You can put it right in there and then cut that stuff off of the ground and even root those roots up. Yeah, in the dirt again. But showing you how it functions. Pretty good little attachment. So you probably could come in and just do the cut on the bottom and then leave the stuff to die, and it would be good. So you can see there we had pretty good growth there on the fence, and about 2 or 3 foot. I call that success, pushing that greenery back away from the fence. There's Wendy being nosy. Where are you going? Running from the work. That's a heifer for you. Well, there you have it. I would recommend this attachment if you can find one. Very versatile. Different way of going at brush than using a brush hog. And you can also use these the cutter sickles as rakes to rake your piles of brushes up. I try to keep mine out of the dirt. We do have rocks around here, even though it is built to handle rocks. I try to keep it out of the dirt just to keep it sharper as I can. You can see it still cuts weeds and does a good job. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please subscribe. Please give me a like, thumbs up. Any questions, any comments, feel free. I like hearing from you. Again, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.